want
Bag milk. Bag milk. Bag milk.
Oh, I swear.
Oh, bag milk.
And I'm hungry like
Bag milk.
Bagged Milk from Oilers Nation joining us. How you doing today?
Feeling good, man.
Yeah?
It's nice to talk to you guys on a heater like this. This is something obviously we've never seen with this franchise before. So it's fun right now. It's just the Oilers are finding different ways to win. A couple of games back to back where they were down by 2 and then came back to win 4-2. So feeling good right now, boys.
That's what I was surprised by. 12 straight wins for the Oilers, and I saw like Coach Nobby. He's like 11-3 when the other team scores first or something crazy like that. It's a lot of come from behind. And,
he
persevering.
There's something about that guy. He's got some kind of mojo going right now. And even last night, he made a great call with a coach's challenge on what would have been the tying goal for Seattle. So things are going well in the Nobby era, and I'm happy to see it. It's funny how the season has been such a roll. Like last night was the halfway point of the season, and I feel like this season's already had 2 years worth of news wrapped in it. So it's been intense.
One of the things that I have kind of noticed in the last, I'd say 4 or 5 games, is that the Oilers, I don't know if they overplay, because they always look like they're moving fast. But there's a moment at the beginning of these games over the last little bit where it looks like they're trying to figure out their game, and they're playing a little bit like they were at the beginning of the season, overskating pucks.
Yeah.
Defensive and offensive breakdowns, and then they just sort of, I don't know what it is. They don't slow down. They settle down. They settle in. They lock it down, and then they start to take over the game. Have you noticed something similar?
Last night was the perfect example of it, Locke. When I don't know how many breakaways Seattle got last night in the first period, but I want to say 3.
It was 3. They scored on 2.
They were just outrageously sloppy in the first period. And to your point, it was almost like they went, oh, yeah, we know how to do this, and then just really locked it down over the last 40 minutes. Stu was great. The defensive coverage was much, much better in the second and third period. So, yeah, I 100% think you're right. It's wild because to keep a heater like this going, you got to have a lot of things go your way, even when things aren't going your way. And what's been interesting to find is that even when things aren't going the Oilers' way, like they were in Toronto, like Matthews scored first shift of the game in the game against Toronto the other night. And then last night, they were giving up breakaways en masse in the first period. I think it's been interesting to watch them recover from that without crumbling. That's been a really interesting part of this win streak because things just weren't going their way early, but they didn't let it get to them. So earlier in the season, if they had been down by 2 goals in the first period, that would have probably been curtains back in October. But right now they're playing as a confident group and they feel like they can come back, and they do. So it's been really interesting to watch that evolution over the course of the season. But like I said, it's still only the halfway mark. So who knows where we're going to end up by the time it comes around.
Halfway through, and it's like it's been 2 different seasons. And how much of the turnaround do you give credit to Stu Skinner for?
You have to give a ton of it to Stu. I mean, when your goalie is playing as well as Stuart Skinner is, it's much easier to to Locke's point, like when your goalie can cover up some of those mistakes and you can trust that he's going to do that, which Stu has been doing, it frees you up to play a little bit looser. And I think that's been hugely beneficial over the course of this win streak. And Stu's just playing some really good hockey, and he's embracing it, and he's playing. The only concern I have with Stu is he's just playing a ton. Yeah. You know, at some point, they're going to want to find probably a better balance. In January, their schedule is actually pretty light. They don't play a whole lot of games in January, but in February, March, April, that really kind of packs in there. So I'm curious to see how the goalie deployment, I guess, is going to happen later in the season. But right now, Stu's been fantastic. Ride the hot hand. I'm all for it. And again, the angle that he's a hometown guy doing this for the Oilers, you see that part of the story as well.
There's a lot less too with Skinner. Sorry to interrupt, Gar, but there's a lot less of when Campbell was in, when there was a goal behind or 2 quick ones or whatever from the opposing team. It was like, oh my god, it's over. Right? Like I don't get that sense with Skinner. Like there isn't this panic that you have watching the man.
He seems really calm, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Like he's a young guy, and even when things aren't necessarily going his way, he's still got that calm demeanor. Maybe that's because he grew up with 1,000 kids in the house and he had to kind of figure it out. But I think that serves him really, really well, especially in a market like this where, if things aren't going well, the crowd will get on you. But I can't say enough good things about Stuart Skinner. It's been kind of funny to watch the narratives, with hindsight, just being like, oh, what's going on with Stu earlier in the season? He's not looking like he was. And then now you go, wow, this guy, you can barely get anything past him unless it's a grade A real chance. Like Seattle got the 2 goals last night on, like you said, Locke, on breakaways. So he's playing really, really good hockey. Calvin Picker's actually been playing really well when he does get a chance. Like I said earlier, I'm curious to see what that split looks like as the schedule gets a little bit heavier down the stretch.
Speaking of splits, though, so we've got Skinner playing well, Coach Nobby, and the locker room deciding to unofficially announce David Wilcox laying pipe as the Edmonton Oilers
Right at the
goal
start
scorer.
of when they turned it around. Yeah.
There we go. We got a nice breakdown of why the team has turned it around. BaggedMilk.
We're all doing our part here. We all have we all have a role to play, and I think that you guys are doing what you need to do, and just keep doing it. We all have our role to play. I want to see a 13th win in Calgary on Saturday, so let's keep it going.
Yeah. Any thoughts on the game tomorrow night? Battle of Alberta.
It's interesting that it's only the second one, and we had to wait till late January to see it. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. As much as it pains me to say, the Flames are actually playing some pretty good hockey last night. I know they lost to the Leafs last night, but there were some controversial goal calls in there. So they're playing some good hockey. It's going to be a challenge for the Oilers, and I think that it's going to be one of those games that they want to be up for. I saw the announcement that they're both going to be wearing the Heritage Classic jerseys tomorrow night.
Cool.
So so I'm looking forward to seeing that. And then obviously when the Oilers and the Flames play, especially down in Calgary, there's a ton of Oilers fans in that barn. So for all the Oilers fans going to the Saddle Dome tomorrow, make sure you wear a hard hat. That place is in disrepair. It's in rough shape.
I've been to Battle of Alberta's in Edmonton and Calgary, and there's something special about going on the road to Calgary for the Battle of Alberta and
it's fun
seeing all the other fans, and I think I enjoy it more going down to Calgary to see it.
Yeah, Grant, you've come with us on some of the bus trips that we've done, and it is a different experience going to a BOA down in the Saddle Dome. It's fun. It's almost like a little mini vacation, even though you're only in Calgary, and everybody's there to have a good time. And there's a lot of Oilers fans in there. So if the boys can win a 13th straight game down in Calgary, that place is going to be very, very loud with Oilers fans. And I would love nothing more than another replay of Flames fans leaving their own building early. That is what I really want to see.
Let's steal another shovel from the Saddle Dome.
Somebody's got to do it.
On the topic of streaks, do you believe in the jinx? For example, all this week, I've made sure that Grant and I, because Jimmy doesn't even know what a streak is unless it's in his pants. I have made sure that we have not talked about the win streak during the game days.
Interesting. I'm not really a superstitious person, although I will subscribe to it if asked. You know what I mean? Like, if you aren't talking about the streak on game days, then don't talk about the streak tomorrow. I know you guys aren't on the air tomorrow. It's Saturday, but don't talk about it tomorrow. If that's your thing, if you're listening to this right now and you've been wearing the same gaunch this entire 3-week, 4-week stretch, months, keep them on, flip them inside out, wear the clean side, turn them around, whatever you got to do.
Right.
So I'm all for it. I'm not personally one of those people that's super superstitious about it, but I do understand that there are folks that are. So
yeah, me neither.
Whatever's working for you. It is working right now, so keep it going.
But when Locke talks about something, it usually breaks the streak. He's very unlucky.
I am the worst. I am I'm an albatross for teams. If I bet on you, you're going to lose. That's how that works.
Okay, your nation vacation, February 18th, 20th. How's it going on? Is there still spots open?
There's still a handful of spots open. So we've got a couple of different options too. So you can just have the normal package that it comes with us from Edmonton. You get your flights, your hotel, your tickets, all of that stuff all in one. And then we've also got a flightless package because there's some people that just wanted to make their way down there for a kind of an extended holiday. So they were doing different flights, or maybe they found different flights that they wanted to be on that worked better for their schedules. So we also have a flightless package that's just the hotels and the tickets. So there's a bunch of different options at nationgear.ca that you can join us. So that's coming up in a month. We're going to be in Arizona watching the boys play in that teeny tiny little barn. And if they keep playing the way they are, who knows, they might keep this heater going right through until family day. So I'm really, really looking forward to that. It's one of those experiences where you can't really describe how excited I am because I've never watched an NHL game in a junior-sized arena. So I'm really looking forward to really looking forward to it. It's going to be so unique.
Are you going to be wearing a mullet for the mullet arena?
I think I might have to go buy one, you know?
Yeah.
I that's the move. Like something real curly and greasy. I think that would be a really good look because there's going to be a lot of us. So we're going to be having a whole section of just blue and orange in a corner. So I think we're going to draw some attention. So I think
add the mullets. Add the mullets. I think that needs to happen. There he is, BaggedMilk, Oilers Nation. As always, thank you for your time, my friend.
Thanks, guys.
The Locker Room for Arden Roof Systems. Weekday mornings on 95.7 Cruise FM.